I'm Logan Webb, and you're listening to Torture Cast.
Swinging. There's a high drive. Deep into left center field. It's on its way. Adios! Pelota!
Let's go Giants! SF Giants! Let's go Giants! SF Giants!
A grand slam for Buster Posey's good friend.
A podcast by and for fans of the San Francisco Giants. Chad King, Eric Nathanson, and Willie Dills. This is the Torture Cast.
Friends, fans, tortured souls in black and orange, we are gathered here today, not in celebration, but in mourning. The San Francisco Giants' 2025 playoff chances have passed away. Their journey ended not with a bang, but with a ground out to short and a runner stranded at third. Let us bow our heads for a moment of silence, unless you're a Dodgers fan, in which you can please silently choke on a sunflower seed. The Giants' playoff hopes were born in April, full of promise, excitement, and hot takes on Twitter. But they were a fragile child, one born with brittle gloves, a fear of situational hitting, and a tragically romantic relationship with the strikeout. Like a Shakespearean character, they were destined to die dramatically, probably swinging at ball 4 too. In May, hope flickered. There were walk-offs. There were rallies. There was one series in which they almost hit with runners in scoring position. But then came June and July, and the streaks, oh, the losing streaks. 4 in a row here, 6 in a row there, like a moody teen who just couldn't get out of bed. By the end, the only thing consistent about this team was the post-game quote, "We're gonna keep grinding." Spoiler alert, the only thing that they ground was the fans' sanity. Let's talk defense, or rather lack thereof. The Giants' gloves were less than gold and more like wet paper towel. If you squinted, you'd swear half the team was fielding with oven mitts. The outfield miscommunications could have easily been sponsored by Verizon. Can you hear me now? No, and you can't catch either. And the hitting. Dear God, the hitting. Runners on second and third with nobody out? Prepare to see a shallow pop-up, a check swing strikeout, and a hard hit ground ball right at someone like it was magnetized. Watching them try to manufacture a run was like watching someone to try and build IKEA furniture with a spoon. Strikeouts? Oh, they struck out. Not just often, but artistically. These weren't just routine Ks. They were dramatic, twirling, all-or-nothing operas of failure. The batters didn't just go down swinging. They went down like they were auditioning for Les Mis. And so, we say goodbye. Goodbye to the dreams of wildcard tiebreakers and scoreboard watching. Goodbye to post-game graphics that say "in the hunt." Instead, we'll enjoy meaningless September call-ups, 3-hour games where the only drama is whether the pitcher can get through 5 innings, and reminders that next year will be different. But will it? I mean, probably not, but hey, at least we'll always have 2010, 2012, and 2014. And if you close your eyes real hard and sip your overpriced garlic fries just right, you can pretend it's still an even year. Rest in peace, 2025 playoff hopes. You were loved, you were frustrating, and you were taken from us far too soon, like in mid-July. Amen. And welcome to the Torture Cast, the podcast by and for fans of the San Francisco Giants. I'm your host, Chad King, and joining me on the other end is Eric Nathanson. And sorry, I had to droll on a little bit there, but we need to probably unofficially / officially put the Giants' playoff hopes to rest. What do you think, Eric?
I think this is torture of a different sort than this podcast was born from. This is like real legitimate torture, not torture you come out the other end smelling like a rose on. The Les Mis line had me rolling, by the way. I can't believe we're here. Last time we talked, I said this right before the show, last episode we had where Chad went out on his pirate ship. We were raving about the Patrick Bailey inside the park home run to win the game, and the Giants had some momentum and things felt okay, and they've totally tanked since then. I'm just glad we don't have to listen to Farhan Zaidi say, we're just one good week away, or we have the best rotation in baseball. I appreciate that Buster is willing to start dismantling this team a little bit. It's just a shame that it happened this way, and that was the worst homestand that the San Francisco Giants have ever had, ever, in the existence of San Francisco Giants. It goes way, way back beyond that, like 18-something New York Mets. I'll have some stats later about that, but I'm sad. I'm getting tired of looking forward to watching a Giants game every day and then watching this crap. And it's just junk. It's bad baseball. It's dumb baseball. It's a total failure by the organization. And I know that the players have to perform, but I don't think the coaching staff has been putting them in a position to succeed. So I think it's a confluence of events, and I'm really, really hoping and praying that Buster is paying attention and may make some appropriate changes after the season. So rest in peace to the Giants' 2025 playoff hopes. You were a fun ride for about 3 months.
On episode 316, and by the way, this is episode 319, we've had a couple of long gaps because of my travel schedule, but that was on June 11th, and we were very excited about what the Giants were doing. In fact, in that podcast, they were 6-0 since Posey shook up the roster. Remember when he did that? We were all excited. All the wins were by 1 run. That was a franchise record. They were, sitting on cloud 9. So were we. And just after that, they opened up that series in LA, and they won the first game. That was June 13th, Eric. On June 13th, they won that game, and they were tied. They were tied with the Dodgers for first place in the National League West. And I cannot believe that 6-7 weeks later we're talking about this. This is the pure insanity. The nature of this drop has been, in my own opinion, just historic. They have spiraled, they have plummeted, they have collapsed. They've obviously lost 6 in a row right now, this 0-6 homestand, which you're going to get to. That's 2 sweeps at home by the Mets and the lowly Pirates, but including everything right up until before the All-Star break, they've lost 12 out of 14. They have the worst record in the majors since the Devers trade. They have the worst record in the major leagues since that victory against LA on June 13th. They've gone 13-26. That is 39 games. That's a quarter of a major league season. That is Colorado Rockies White Sox territory in terms of winning percentage. That would be a 107 loss pace. And during that span, they've only hit 229, been outscored 190 to 143. For those of you, calculating at home, that's 4.9 to 3.7 in terms of runs per game. They have an ERA of 4.65 when their ERA was kicking ass before that. And of course, the playoff odds, which were up to like 78% at the time, are now down to under 10%. I mean, I know we put I just read the eulogy for their season. So statistically speaking, everyone's still alive, except for maybe the Rockies. But no, their season is over. And it's going to be a while to dissect this, to do the postmortem. This is not the show to do that postmortem. But I don't know what happened. I mean, a lot of people will say, oh, they've had a couple injuries to their starting rotation. Yeah, but that's more recently. They're not getting blown out every game. A lot of these losses are also by 1 or 2 runs. To me, just to my untested eye, because I couldn't watch every game because of my travel schedule, but just looking at highlights and looking at summaries and watching some replays of some innings, to me, it's been a complete lack of situational hitting and the fundamentals of the game. I know it goes much deeper than that. I know they've had some bad luck too, like in this recent series with the Mets. They had the Jung-Hoo Lee homer that would have tied the game. It was a homer in 29 out of 30 parks. You had Patrick Bailey lining out to Pete Alonso. You have all these things where baseball is a game of inches. I get it, but that's not the overall problem. Obviously, they're not they're not having home runs robbed for those during those 26 losses, right? So you've been watching more Giants baseball than I have recently. I mean, what would you put your finger on? Would you attribute it to the manager?
Yes, actually, I would. They're a dumb baseball team. They're just dumb. Like it was
dumb baseball team.
They are. Ryan Walker showed it in the 10th inning tonight. Situational awareness. He was so focused and locked in on, okay, there's a runner on first and third with 1 out. If I can get the double play, I can get out of the inning. But apparently nobody told him that the runner was going, so that there was no play at second base. He didn't see
Right.
the runner break from third because he turned around immediately and his back was to the runner, and Cruz was able to basically trot on home. If he had just seen the runner coming home, he could have ran at the runner. He could have thrown home. He could have done any number of things instead of throwing to second base in a feeble attempt to get a double play on a ground out you're not going to get a double play on because the runner was going. Helio Ramos has shown that they're not getting coached to their capabilities. Like, he has made some of the dumbest mistakes on the base paths, including, again, in today's game, getting thrown out on an infield fly rule. It was stunning to see. 2 days ago, I saw the Cubs do that to the White Sox or Brewers or something like that. And everybody's like, oh, my God, the Cubs were so smart to bait the runner. And watching my own runner get caught up, it's like, that's ridiculous how dumb they are. They just seem dumb. The mistakes that they make are mistakes that a Major League Baseball team shouldn't be making. And I know they announced an extension for Bob Melvin, but I have to think his job and his butt's on the hot seat right now after this collapse. It doesn't matter if they finish out September and end up 2 or 3 games over 500. This part of the season is where they lost the season, and it has to be accountable. Williams, he's another great example. I can't stand him as a third base coach. The guy doesn't know how to read a play. He's holding up guys way too late, where he's like 3/4 of the way down the line and the runner's already halfway towards home plate, and then he's throwing up the stop sign. Ramos ran through a stop sign in Atlanta and then got chewed out for it, even though he scored. And it was crap because Ramos got the sign so late. Well, he was going to get hung up. So from the top down, it's a failure. Yeah, the players need to perform, but they need to be coached up a little bit. Their hitting approach sucks. Oh my God, I could apparently go on forever. Their hitting approach sucks. They're all taking strike one. It's so annoying watching these fastballs down the middle of the plate on the first pitch, and the Giants are just standing there and watching it. And it turns out to be the best pitch they get in the entire at-bat. But they're all constantly falling behind 0-1, 0-2, and they're having to fight things off. It's just the hitting approach sucks. The base coaching sucks. Clearly, they're not communicating to the players on the things that need to be done. I think the Giants have some good talent. Between Chapman, Adames has shown himself to really turn it around. It was 100% wrong
He really
on him.
has.
Yeah, apparently Ramos isn't what we thought he was, but if Lee could stop trying to hit the ball out of the yard and just turn it into a slap hitter like his, hero Ichiro, he could probably get on base a few more times instead of rolling the ball over to second. Yaz is a mess at the plate. Luis Matos never gets to play, and so therefore when he does, he doesn't really hit the ball. Bailey, I don't care about his hitting, but Casey Schmidt turned it around a little bit, but Wilmer's totally fallen off a cliff. I think he has 2 home runs in the last month and a half. It's just, it seems to me a failure of coaching, and the players will tell you that they did it to themselves, but I don't think they were put in a position to succeed this year. And God, I really hope Buster's watching. I mean, I know he is, but you know what I mean? I hope he sees these little things that they're not doing, because Buster's teams were not dumb, and this team is dumb.
Yeah, they just seem to be making very junior, sophomoric, if you will, even freshmen, mistakes on the field, like you just pointed out, and they're not correcting them. In fact, they seem to be getting worse. These are mistakes that high school teams shouldn't even be making, and any single mistake may not make the single difference in one single game, but it's the culmination of all those that it does. It puts the team in a bad mood. It kills rallies, which they could have scored a lot of runs. We just don't know. I mean, they have the potential. They in those last 14 games, they won 2. Both of them were Atlanta by a lot, 9-0 and 9-3. Those are like the 2 outliers, and they played those games very well. But every other game besides that, it was just an absolute trash fire, dumpster fire. And it's frustrating because they were 12 games above 500, and they were on that trajectory of grabbing a wild card spot. Even after being tied with the Dodgers, we didn't expect them to hang with them all year, but at least they were in a really good position in the wild card. And we're like, man, if they hold on and they just play 500 ball from that point, they would probably have a playoff spot. And they have just absolutely flipped it on its head. 13 games under 500 since that point. So now they're actually 1 game under 500, Eric. And I was obviously not shocked if that were to happen by the end of the season, because you predicted 79 wins and I predicted 82 in our season preview. So we both said, okay, they're going to be just above or at or below 500. You and I were right there.
Totally fair.
you're probably going to be more correct on this one now, because they might be heading south of 79 at this point. But after being up 12 games, I never thought in a million years this team would plummet back to 500, let alone below 500. But they've done it before August has come around. What the hell, man? You know, the only saving grace I could say is that if they were to fail, they're failing exceedingly quickly, which has pivoted the Giants' strategy of being buyers to sellers. And maybe ultimately that's a good thing, because if they tried to buy at the deadline, if they were playing mediocre ball and then fell off the cliff, then it's that waste of those rentals or the prospects you gave up. Now, on the flip side, knowing that their season is at a loss, at least they can get something for players. And they did that today. They started that process today. They traded away fan favorite and one of my favorites, Tyler Rogers, for a trio of players from the New York Mets. Now, I'm reading more into these players because I don't know their prospects very well. And most sites, both on the Mets and Giants side and neutral sites, seem to be indicating that the Giants fleeced the Mets on this one. That's the overarching theme that I've read. I'm not, the expert in this situation. I think I'm also blinded by Tyler Rogers' success. I mean, but the good news, and you pointed out this today, his stock has never been higher. The Mets are looking for bullpen help. And by the way, they also got the Phillies closer, right? Today.
Yeah.
But not the Phillies. Yeah, the Phillies closer, right?
No, the Mets.
No, not Phillies. The Cardinals closer. Yeah, thank you. Phillies are in the hunt. What am I saying?
Yeah, Phillies got the Twins closer, and the Mets got the Cardinals closer.
Exactly. So they're shoring up their bullpen, and Rogers is a rental because his contract expires, and so you pointed this out today, saying, hey, he could be back with the Giants next year, and he's a longtime favorite. I mean, Posey pitched it or caught him. He's been with the team since 2019, so it's possible. I don't know if it happened. I think it's possible they had a conversation with Tyler going, look, we want to have you back next year, but given the fact that our playoff chances are approaching zero, we can get something for you. So go have fun, go chase a ring with New York, and if it works out, we'd love to have you back next year. And I think sometimes those conversations do happen. I don't know if it happened here, but
I think
it's possible.
Did. I think it happened today. I think Buster personally went to the bullpen to tell Tyler Rogers about the trade. He personally went down there to get him. And I have a feeling as they walked back through the tunnels to get back to, the clubhouse and stuff, I have a feeling Buster said those exact things to him. And I would love to have Rogers back. I'm with you. He was a good Giant. I understand there's been frustration with him in the past. Even I've been frustrated with him in the past, but he's been phenomenal. These last 2-3 years, he's just been absolutely lights out. And it's going to be weird because who's the next Giants opponent? Well, it's the New York Mets.
It's going to be weird. You're going to see Frisbee sliders coming from Rogers to the Giants. But he 1.8 ERA, 0.86 whip this year. I mean, and he should have been an all-star, especially with some of the pitchers that bowed out. I was shocked that he wasn't selected. The Giants pushed for him, but it wasn't made. But I mean, overall, he's got a 9.1 career WAR in 7 seasons with the Giants, 2.79 with a 1.099 whip. I mean, he's been an excellent middle late reliever for the Giants in 7 years.
He's been fun to watch, and it's the type of thing where, like, at first we were kind of like curious, like, what the heck, and he has been under team control this whole time. Like, his brother Taylor was making $10 million, this year, and Tyler's making like 2.3 or something like that. The disparity is crazy because of the team control that Tyler was under, and it took him a while, but he was a good Giant. Logan Webb said he lost one of his best friends today. Obviously he said New York's going to get a good one, and they were close. And Tyler seemed like a good dude that people in the clubhouse cared about, the organization cared about. So, we're going to miss him in that respect. But like you said, this haul that they got back for Tyler Rogers, a rental, a 2-month reliever rental. And honestly, relievers are kind of a dime a dozen. So to get this kind of return on a reliever and not some starting pitcher or an outfield bat or something like that is tremendous. This outfielder, Drew Gilbert, it's weird. Drew Gilbert and Blade Tidwell, I believe, were both Tennessee Volunteers. And the Giants' first round pick was a Tennessee Volunteer. But Drew Gilbert is a guy who can sometimes hit the ball hard and far. I saw some highlights there. Blade Tidwell has been bouncing between AAA and the majors this year so far. He's 2 starts. But Buto has been in their bullpen for a while, so he'll just slide right in. And then Sean Jelly got cut, designated for assignment to make room for Tidwell on the 40-man roster. So it's sad to see Tyler Rogers go. It's weird that the Giants have technically now traded both brothers within the last calendar year because we traded him to the Reds, I guess, in the offseason.
Yep.
Reds. Where is he now? Oh, wait, we'll get to that.
Yeah, that's what was weird is that the Giants did trade away Taylor Rogers in the offseason to Cincinnati. But today, on the same day Tyler was traded, Taylor was traded again. He was traded from the Reds to the Pirates, who the Giants just wrapped up with. And he was traded for Cabrian Hayes, who, of course, is the son of Charlie Hayes, who played for the Giants for a few seasons in 88, 89, and again, 98, 99. I remember watching him. Big old chunky third baseman for the Giants.
Yep.
So really weird.
Final out Yankees in the 96 World Series, much like a pop-up to Panda.
Yeah, no doubt. So anyway, really strange circumstances that both twins got traded on the same day. So I don't know about really Willie's twin, but Willie's here. How's your twin doing, man?
What's up, dudes? Sorry about that. I went to the game today, and we got back. We took a little while getting back. We tried some new method to get home, which was kind of a bummer because we had to walk a long way. My mom got a little tired, but so we didn't get back till a little later. And then I was eating dinner. I was like, okay, I got a couple hours, so I'll just watch some TV, and just passed out and woke up just now. I was like, oh my god, it's 9 o'clock. So anyway, I know you guys are probably almost done, but I figured I'd at least come in and talk about at least what my experience was like today at the game.
Yeah, I was going to say earlier to Chad, I really wished you were here because I'm kind of curious to hear what the vibe was like at the ballpark, how people were acting, and I heard there were boos at the end of the game today. What was it like?
So the vibe was not good, that's for sure. There was still, surprisingly, for a Wednesday day game, it was a decent turnout. A lot of Pirates fans, though. There's weirdly a lot of Pirates fans around me, which I guess I can kind of see. They do actually have, even though they're a bad team, they do have some exciting players. I mean, they got O'Neal Cruz and Paul Skeens, right? So I think there's probably a little more interest in the Pirates than maybe usual. But the vibes, as far as there's a lot of people, we had good seats, right? These are the same seats that, Chad, when you went to the game with your son, I was sitting just one section over.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So these are decent seats. So these are mostly, I think, season ticket holders, that type of crowd that are around me. So these are the people who probably just go to the game anyway, right? A lot of people seemed like, I mean, it was, I guess you could say it was muted, but a lot of people did still seem like they were there on a day game. The weather was nice. People were having kind of fun. But at the end of the game is when it really kind of hit me. We go into extra innings. The Giants actually get a runner on second and third with only one out. Yaz, makes a first pitch bunt that gets the guys over, and you're thinking, okay, here we go. That's all we need. And even then, normally everyone would get up at that point, right? Or the noise level would come up a little bit. Nobody seemed to believe that we were going to win this game.
And they
really
were correct.
Yeah, it really felt like, and I'm sitting there going, okay, these are good. Like when the friggin' when the left fielder lost the ball in the sky, I'm like, oh my god, they're gonna give us this game. This is how we're gonna win. Like they're gonna suck harder than we are. Because I didn't believe we had a chance
Not
to
possible.
get a hit there. But then when that happened, I was like, oh my god, okay. And then when Bailey struck out, I absolutely slumped down in my chair and was like, well, now Ramos definitely gonna strike out. I mean, come on. And then it happened. But just as we were walking out, it was like it just felt like defeat. Everybody around me, there were boos, but it wasn't like it felt weirdly like acceptance. Like everybody just was like, yeah, okay, we can't win. No, we can't. The Pirates? No, we can't beat those guys. And this is just so different than the vibes that we had the beginning of this year. And we were talking about on this show that this team was winning purely on vibes. And it's like, I cannot believe this is the same team. The last time I sat in those seats, and Chad, I guess you were there too then, right? Because that was wasn't that Yaz's walk-off?
That was Yaz's 10th inning walk-off splash hit. Yeah.
Remember how it felt?
It was incredible. Yeah, we were riding on. Yeah.
This was a complete 180. So, this is a wild season, man, because I was trying my hardest to keep a positive attitude, and this last 10-game stretch or whatever it is, 11 games now since the All-Star break, has just completely demoralized and derailed my confidence. I'm firmly in the sell everybody camp now at this point.
Yep.
Yeah, it's crazy. Now I will say, also I was at the game when I found out about Tyler Rogers, right?
Right. I was wondering, was my text the first time you knew, or
Yeah. And I literally looked down and I went, the Giants just traded Tyler Rogers? And then everybody around me was like, wait, what?
Okay, I was hoping that was. I totally did that on purpose.
Yeah,
That's hilarious.
Everybody around me was like tapping me on the shoulder, like, "I'm sorry, what happened?" Because that's not the name we were expecting to hear, right?
Right.
No, we thought Duvall was going to be the guy.
Duvall.
Yeah.
Duvall would have made a lot of sense. I mean, I'm thinking Walker, Duvall, Robbie Ray. These are the names that I'm thinking, right? Now, after it kind of sunk in, more and more, I'm like, okay, well, who did we get? And I'm like, oh, this seems okay. And then I start thinking about it. I'm like, wait, the Rogers was already going to be a free agent, right? So we could just sign him back again if we want to.
Yeah.
Yep.
This might be a Buster Posey, another fleecing in a way. If you think about what
Well,
we were
that's
starting
what-
to get into that. Yeah, because
That's what we were just talking about right before you joined, is the fact that, Eric was saying that Posey's the one who went down and told him. And so we both have supposed that, Buster probably pulled him aside and said, hey, look, this is a rental. We're not making the playoffs this year. Go chase a ring with the Mets. And guess what? If you want to, we want you back next year. And, it's like getting 3 players for a 2-month mid-reliever rental. I mean, it seems like a good deal to me. I love Rogers. I hate to see him go in case he doesn't come back. But at the same time, you look at the return and the possibility he comes back. It's like, okay, all right, I can jive with this.
If this is how we're going to sell, I'm all for it, right? If we make strategic moves where at least, I don't want to, because people on Reddit and stuff are like, yeah, get rid of Adames, get rid of Jung Hoo Lee, get rid of Ramos, I'm like, Jesus, you guys, like, what are you talking about? Like, if we're building the team, we're still building around something, right? So
right. That's why Flores should be available. Verlander is available. The whole clubhouse presence part doesn't matter. Here's a few quick stats just to put a button on how bad this homestand was. I did this part research myself. The Giants led for 1 full inning in the entire 6 games. The 2 times they took the lead against the Pirates scored the very next half inning. So that doesn't count. They were immediately canceled out. They held the lead for 1 inning against the Mets the other night. The only other time they went home winless on a homestand of 6+ games was in April of 1896.
Yeah,
when they lost 3 of the Phillies and 3 of the Bean Eaters. So we just
I love it.
We just witnessed something that even like the 1985.
Oh, I remember that series well, guys. The Bean Eaters.
The Bean Eaters.
When they came to town.
There's been some bad Giants teams over the years.
Oh, yeah.
And to never do that at Candlestick and only do this here at Oracle for the first time, they've lost 8 straight overall at home and scored 15 total runs. They have the lowest runs per game since the Devers trade, the lowest batting averages runners in scoring position since the Devers trade. Their OPS is second worst in MLB. And let's remember, they went, 0 for 22, 0 for 23 with runners in scoring position in that Mets series. This is a historic plunge. They've scored 3 or fewer runs 54 times in 109 games. That's half the season. 3 or fewer runs.
Since the Devers trade, we are the worst team in baseball. and that is
It's-
a
yeah,
wild thing to say when you've got the Rockies in the league, right?
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, we have actually the worst record, and to me, it makes no sense. Logically, it doesn't make sense that you add a bat like Devers and then your team just goes into an absolute tailspin. But we're
No, it doesn't
witnessing
make
it,
sense.
and
Oh, and Boston's
we're-
record is better, by the way.
yeah, and what we're watching too, it's not just a lack of hitting. It's not just there was the Walker brain fart, right, where you're like, okay, he picks up the ball right in front of him. There's a runner halfway down the line to home. He goes to second where a runner took off. No chance at a
Mhm.
double play. This is in the 10th inning, right? And everybody goes, "What the hell are you thinking?" And I'm going, I know exactly what happened. Nobody yelled runner. Nobody
Yep.
made any kind of notification to a pitcher who doesn't know the runner's going. So that means that the team is just being lazy. This is just pure. We got guys not calling the ball and then just letting it drop in between them. We've got just absolute brain farts happening left and right. And the team it's like they forgot how to play baseball. They don't care. Something. It's just the weirdest thing to watch. So
know.
So
it's
Chad
not
asked
just like
me
the
this
hitting
question.
disappeared. It's like all of the enthusiasm, all of the ability to be, all of the effort. It's all gone. It's all gone.
All right, so Chad asked me, and I'll ask you, who's to blame?
Okay, number one culprit is got to be Bob Melvin. I mean, it just has to be, right? There's no, it's not Posey's trying his hardest from the position where he's at, but there's one move that he must make, and I don't know if he's ready to make that move yet. But if we tank even harder, maybe he'll be forced. But you just have to look at it. You have to say this is in the dugout. The problem is in the dugout. So yeah, sorry to say it. I think he's a very nice man, but I think Melvin might be cooked as a manager.
It's interesting because they just signed him to that 1-year extension, and this before they started the losing kind of ways.
I feel like
when
that
they
was a
signed
move.
him.
That was a move
But-
at the time, right?
Yeah.
Optics.
It was optics, but now it's like if like you said, if they tank even harder, what if they end the season well below 500? We're talking like 75 wins or something like that, or even worse. What would they do? Would they have egg on their face if they keep Melvin for the next year, or would it look even worse if they fired him even after signing him to an extension?
Yeah, I think any logical person who looks at this team and what's going on and has to say the manager is failing. I'm sorry, and it's not.
Yeah.
It's not just the bullpen moves, right? It is the overall, like just effort level and the ability to be prepared to play a game of baseball. It's like they're not ready, and that all begins at the manager spot. So I don't know who's out there, who's available, but I mean,
Mark DeRosa.
I want Kapler back right now. You know what I mean? Like I'm like, dude, just give me anybody.
Bruce Bochy.
Well,
His contract's up.
His contract's going to end.
Yeah, there's
That's a fun
speculation
name.
that he's done in Texas, but not because like he's gonna get axed. Like there's speculation that he just might be done managing for real this time. But how fun
Yeah.
would it be if Bochy was like, "I'll come back to the Giants. I'll work for Buster." But yeah, that's for the October pod, I should say.
That's for the hot stuff.
thing is-
Yeah, exactly.
I think a lot of people on Reddit are like, fire him now. And I'm sorry, guys, that's not going to happen. We're not going to mid-season fire
No.
a manager.
That's not happening.
Also, that
It doesn't
doesn't
do
even
anything.
happen unless
No,
it's
the Giants only fire managers with 3 games left in the season.
yeah,
I mean, this isn't the 2003 Marlins where Jack McKeon's going to come in after the manager gets fired and win a World Series. Like that's just not going to happen. There's no
it's not gonna
77-year-old man out there to help us. So, just
No,
let it
but-
ride out.
but-
Let it be what it is.
the Buster being the guy that you're working with thing, I mean, that has to be enticing, right? If you're a manager
I would
out
think so.
there. And it's very clear he's willing to make moves, right? And I'm sure he's willing to listen to your input and your feedback. I don't know who doesn't want to. I guess the real thing is contract wise, and if he's going to say, yeah, we're committed to winning. But from the outside looking in, it looks like the Giants are committed to winning based on the moves that Buster has made.
Yeah.
So far not working, obviously, but
no, it's not. But look, the trade deadline is tomorrow, and so I wanted to ask you guys. We did hear rumors that Duvall was being talked about with the Mets, and instead they pivoted to Rogers, and it does sound like Buster kind of was like, nah, you guys aren't getting Duvall for that price. And Buster negotiated hard and got a good package for a 2-month rental for a mid-tier reliever or middle inning reliever. Now, regarding Duvall, I mean, you have like Cleveland, who's, looking like they're heading towards the playoffs with their closer, Clase, being investigated for prop bets and all that stuff. So there's teams like that are looking for relievers, and you just had the Mets and the Phillies pick up relievers from other teams, closers from other teams. So, I mean, I assume Duvall and even Walker are certainly on the table. So, look, if they get a similar return to what they got for Rogers, I'm all for it. I assume you guys are.
Oh yeah, I opened the day by looking at Reddit and seeing somebody post that Kwan was on the market, right? And I'm like, I will do lots of things for that. I don't believe that's that we have enough in crappy relievers for that. But Duvall is a big piece, and he looked good today. He looked very good today.
Yeah, but Cleveland's out of it. They're sellers. They're not buyers.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So they're not looking for that kind of thing. But when I start thinking about what we have in our bullpen, I'm like, these are the pieces we can move. And then I'm down to get rid of, like you were talking, Eric, you're mentioning names like Flores and stuff. A team will definitely want a veteran hitter, right? Or left-handed hitting. And we're done with a lot of these guys. So I'm like, just do everything as long as it makes sense. Just don't like, what I don't like is selling out of desperation, which it would feel like we would be doing if we start dumping off all the big pieces, right? And we also have a lot of contracts other teams are not going to want to pick up. Those guys aren't going anywhere. Sorry to tell everybody out there on Reddit land, but our big contract guys are staying. That's the core.
Well, I still think the Devers trade was a good trade because that's how you're going to get bigger bats to come to San Francisco. Is you kind of have to them to come here instead of enticing them as free agents. So, I mean, there's a good core with Devers, Chapman, Adames. I'm with you, Lee. I mentioned it earlier. I just wish the guy would calm down and just be more of a slap hitter. Yaz could be looked in on if somebody wants a veteran left-handed bat off the bench, versatile outfielder. I'd be totally cool with them trading Yaz at this point, especially because the guy is 4 for his last 38. And that's like the second or third time that happened.
He made an amazing catch today, though. Amazing.
Yes, he did. That was pretty good.
He sure did. Yeah, everybody's doing the catch of the year thing. I mean, he cleared that fence completely,
it was
too.
really cool. It was one of the coolest catches I've seen in a while. It was like he'd practiced that or something.
Yeah, I
it
agree.
was like where the net actually helped him, right? Because like normally you'd be hitting concrete, and he was just like cradled to the floor by the net.
Arm earlier this year, running into that exact same net. I was like, "Whoa, what are you doing?" And then
that's true. I forgot about that.
Casually popped in there and was like laying in a hammock. It was amazing.
Yeah. The hammock catch.
But you're right. Like, I don't know if Randy's somebody they're going to listen on or hold for next season to be the closer. Also, by the way, Randy Rodriguez did not pitch the entire Pittsburgh series. How is Randy Rodriguez not facing the Pittsburgh Pirates?
I know we lost by 2, 1, and 1, and you're telling me our best guy isn't involved in those games?
I don't know. That
goes back to Bob again. It totally goes back to Bob again. But they should listen on everybody. I'd be open on Ramos if some team, if they can get a good haul for him. I really would be open on Ramos. I'm tired of how dumb he is. I really am. He was my guy. I was touting him, but I take back everything I ever said. The guy gets on the bases and turns his brain off, and I don't understand what he's doing ever. You know, he ran into an out of third the other night. Oh,
that was crazy, dude.
I mean, that was bad. Today was bad.
Into the out. It was like the guy is standing in front of you with the ball in his hand. And you just
what are you doing? I'm tired of that. But maybe he's just not as dumb as the coaching staff is dumb. So, it's possible, but I would. The name that really stands out is I'm hoping Verlander gets traded. I really am. I hope some team who's in the hunt decides. He has had 2 good starts in a row, 10 innings pitched, 1 earned run. He piles up the pitches. He's nothing more than a 5 and dive at this point. but he definitely can help out a rotation and bring veteran presence because I truly
Sure.
believe the Giants pitching staff is better this year because he was in it as far as knowledge and stuff that he passed. Now, as a pitcher, he hasn't been the greatest.
Yeah,
Right.
we're good now.
So
Thank you for your
let him go
service.
5 and
See you
dive
later.
somewhere else. Right.
By the way,
we'll
we
get
also
Carson Wisenhunt,
wasted
KT Wong.
Webb's 11 strikeouts today. Did you guys talk about that already?
No.
Yeah. So for
Yeah,
anybody
11 Ks.
who wasn't paying attention, because I think a lot of people may be tuning out of Giants baseball, which I fully understand. I mean, Webb he had 11 strikeouts in like
he threw a lot of
5 or
pitches.
6 innings. I mean,
It was 5 2/3, and that's another thing I didn't understand. Why the F did Bob send him out for the 6th inning if he wasn't going to let him complete it and get a chance at a win? You know, I know he gave up a hit in the inning, but he still got 2 more outs. He was facing a righty. It's not like he replaced him for a lefty-lefty matchup of some kind. Just let Logan finish the inning. I don't give a shit if he's at 111 or 115 pitches. What's the freaking difference at that point?
Every single move he makes just boggles my mind when it comes to the bullpen. Like it's not even, you know, sometimes you're like, okay, you know, maybe he's going like old school. He's not looking at lefty righty matchups and all that kind of stuff. But then it's like, no, you're just running guys out there who clearly are tired for one extra batter, or you're pulling guys for weird reasons and then replacing them with the most random name out of the bullpen I can think of. It's just
he's the anti-Bochy.
I was about to say the exact same thing. He's the antithesis to Bochy, the way he pulled his levers. I mean, just it's frustrating, guys.
So, do we think they'll make a couple trades here?
I think they got one.
Camilo.
One more, probably. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they got one more left in them. I do think it's going to be something like Camilo or Walker going.
I think we could wake up tomorrow to like tons of news, but I think we wake up to at least one more piece. And
today's been a flurry of news. Suarez just got traded to the Mariners from Arizona.
Oh, wow.
We were all waiting on that one. I was really hoping he'd go to the Cubs, but he just got traded. Today was a flurry of activity. I do not remember a day being this busy the day before the deadline. Usually it's deadline day itself, but I don't remember that day. But we're going to be watching prospects by September, I think. We're you know, Carson Wisenhunt will probably be here to stay at this point. You know, maybe Eldridge makes an appearance in September, much like Buster made an appearance in September in 09, just to see what he has at the big league level and keep him playing for an extra month. You know, so I think that's what we have to look forward to at this point. It's a shame that we're here. It really is. They didn't have a June swoon. They had a July swoon.
Yeah, it's the weirdest season I can remember, honestly, just because of how good I felt about this team. I don't think I've had a pivot this hard that I can remember ever.
You missed this, Willie, but we opened up. I did a eulogy, by the way.
Oh, wow.
So you'll have to listen to that. You have to listen to that later. But, they tied the Dodgers on June 13th when they won that first game of that series. Yeah, and since then, 13-26.
Yeah,
worst record in the major. I mean,
we're 6 games back in the wild card now.
The pivot is so hard, like you said.
Great.
It's just like going from we are competing for the West, but definitely going to be almost a lock for the wild card to it's not even August 1st and we're out. Like what the hell, man?
We're staring up like the Reds now. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, and the Marlins are 1 game behind. What the hell?
I know.
It doesn't make any sense. This is like Bizarro land, man. We've gone into another reality. This is, we are the Rockies right now over the last 6 weeks. And it's hard. It's hard being the worst team in the majors in the last, that's 39 games. That's 40 games. That's a quarter of the season they've played. Yeah. Winning 1 out of 3 games.
No, this is not a small size anymore. It's not like, we're just scuffling, you know?
Yeah, weren't they like the first team to 30 wins or something this year? Oh, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, they had the fourth best record in the majors when they were tied for the West.
So, I mean, the three of us are pretty diehard. It's hard to get us to turn it off. You know what I mean? Like, I will watch the game, even if but like, honestly, I'm at the point now where I'm starting the game about an hour late. And normally I would start the game about an hour late so I could skip through commercials. But I'm like, no, catch up through key plays. Just get me to live. I want to see where we're at so I can decide whether to ruin my day or not. Right. And then when I get caught up, if it's like 2-1 and we're losing, I'm like, well, you lost this one, like, and that's crazy. That's not how it should feel, being down 1. And when they scored that 1 in the 10th inning, I like literally like turned to my mom and I was like, yeah, there's no way we score 1. 2? That's crazy. 1 with a runner on second and nobody out? No. But 2, I was like, that's game over. And that's how it feels. So it's like every day is a struggle to turn the game on. And that's not how I ever operate. So it's wild what's going on.
No, it's wild. So what did you guys think, real quickly, of Carson Whisenhunt's debut? Obviously, statistically, it didn't go well, but, sometimes you got to give a pass to a guy's major league debut because of jitters and whatever. But, I mean, overall, what do you guys think?
He struggled early, and he settled down, which I liked a lot. Because, that's, to me, it's like when you come in and immediately you've given up a few runs and you're young, that could just snowball, and then he's out of the game after like an inning and a third or something like that. But he did end up settling down. He got through 5, right?
He did.
Yeah. So to me, that was like a good sign, and I like his stuff. In a way, like I'm more excited about how his stuff looks than I ever was about Harrison, because Harrison, it's like a dead straight fastball that if he's not locating, he has nothing else. Whisenhunt looks like he got tools at least out there.
Yeah, he's a changeup guy. So when your adrenaline's amped, it's harder to harness the changeup, and it showed in the first 2 innings. I didn't think he spotted the ball as well as he could have, but I did appreciate how he settled down after those first couple innings, after the adrenaline died down and stuff like that. And I think a start on the road this weekend in New York is going to be helpful for him in a good environment. I'd like to see him paint the corners a little more, but I mean, 5 innings, small sample size. We got to see how he develops. Isn't he like 20, 21 years old or something?
He's really, really young. Yeah. So
yeah, I mean, he's he was on with Kruk and Kipe during the game last night, and he sounded pretty down to earth and pretty, understanding what he has to do and his role and stuff like that. And apparently a good little tidbit that came out of that is Bumgarner's dad used to umpire Carson Whisenhunt's games in North Carolina.
No way.
Isn't that great?
That's pretty good. That is pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I think right now this is a good situation for him too, because he's going to get a stretch here now. He's going to there's no reason not to, right? Just let him go out there, let him work through it, let him figure out how to face big league hitters.
Yeah, Roop was pitching well, and I think he will when he gets back. Not Verlander. Webb and Ray, Roop, Whisenhunt, and maybe Kai-Tae Wong by the end of the season. Maybe he'll get the call up because he's apparently looked the best in AAA of all the pitchers. So I think we're at a spot where we can start auditioning and looking towards 2026.
Yep. Now, do you think? I think Ray is someone you can move if there's a big return on investment, right? But I'm okay with next year Roop, Webb, and Ray being like our anchors in the rotation too. I'm okay with that as well. I mean, we just got to figure out who the back 2 guys are, right? So, I'm like, let's figure those guys out. And didn't we get a starting pitcher back for Rogers too? Who's
Blade. Okay, a guy named Blade Tidwell.
Great baseball name, Blade.
Right.
So I think it's audition time, and then I'm also open to, if we get good return, moving Ray as well. Even though I really like him, I like the tiny pants. I like the the grunting. I like the fastball. But next year is the year. This year is no longer it. So everybody's on the table. As far as I'm concerned.
Again, 6 weeks ago, if you said you think the Giants will be in it come August 1st, I'd be like, well, yeah, of course. I mean, even if they play 500 or even a little below 500, they'll still be in it. No one predicted this kind of collapse or whatever. But
we're under 500 as a big team for the whole season. We're 1 game under 500 now. That's insane to me.
But I was telling Eric that, if they were going to miss the playoffs, at least they're doing it quickly and violently and before the All-Star break or before the trading deadline, so they could actually get something for players, Like, they're not going to be buyers and then collapse, because that's usually when it's worse,
I guess that's a good point. Yeah, if we had waited until exactly September to do this, that would have maybe hurt even more. But,
Just rip the Band-Aid off.
Yeah. Tomorrow's going to be maybe a really cool day. Let's find. Let's take a look.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens.
Well,
I believe in
we'll
Posey.
see.
I still believe in Posey. I just right now I don't believe in like anybody else with a Giants uniform on at all.
You know, it's crazy because they go on the road now and they face the two same teams, the Mets and the Pirates, 3 games each. So one thing you could say is it's not going to go any worse in this homestand. So, you know.
True, it cannot get worse.
You don't know that. It can always get worse.
They lose half the team to some viral infection or something. Yeah. Everyone chops their fingers off trying to separate frozen burgers like Jeremy Effeld or something like that.
You know,
Instead of one,
somebody mentioned there's an earthquake in the ocean and there's a tsunami coming, and I was like, bring it on, dude. Let's go.
Bring it on.
Just wipe it all out. Let's start fresh, you know?
Can we restart the season, please? All right. Well, before we wrap up, I know it's been 2 weeks since the All-Star game. There's nothing really to talk about except the ending. What did you guys actually? We did have internet and TV on the ship, so I was able to watch a good portion of that game because it was on major network. But I thought, it ends in a tie and we go to the home run swing off. I don't know. I thought that was kind of fun. What'd you guys think?
I didn't mind it for an All-Star game. I would have hated if they were ever like, this is how we do.
Oh, of course.
God, no.
Of course. No.
No, but I didn't mind it. But it was funny as hell because the American League, I was like, who did you pick? I'm sorry, who now?
I know, huh?
But I guess it made sense once you realize like all the players had, I guess, gotten dressed and were getting ready to leave.
Yeah, they changed out. Exactly.
Oh,
they were like,
they weren't even in the park, man.
Yeah.
Otani was on a plane before that home run derby even happened.
Sure.
Yeah.
But,
Guys were gone. Otani was on the plane. Judge was in clothes. Yeah, it was crazy.
The National League kept their secret weapon, Schwarber, there. So, once I heard the names, I was like, okay, well, Schwarber's going to hit some. So, I mean, that was kind of fun when he hit all 3. By the way,
he's just your beer league softball guy, He's just the one who you knew was going to do it.
Can we just also say that, like, the home run derby is the dumbest thing ever? Whatever format they always end up doing is somehow worse than the year before. It's like the timer thing where your guy's hitting it, and then we don't even get to watch a ball go out majestically. We have to do split screen and keep watching this guy because he only has 1 minute to hit balls. I really want them. It's stupid because what we care about is the bombs, right? I want them to do. Yeah.
Not the ass of the pitcher.
Yeah. Everybody hits 5 home runs. Everybody just hits 5 home runs as hard as they can, and the guy who hit it the farthest is the winner. Because I think O'Neal Cruz should have won the whole damn thing based just on the one that went freaking out of the stadium. Like, and we didn't even remember it when it happened because they were still watching. I was still watching him.
I went to the ESPN2 broadcast. It was much better. As far as the All-Star game itself with Schwarber, that was a very bittersweet moment for me because Schwarber was one of Karen's all-time favorites, and she would have really enjoyed that night. I had a lot of fun. It made me smile. It made me cry. It was a good thing. I love Schwarber. He's just that big teddy bear that, he reminds me of like a Gronkowski type. You know what I mean? Sure. Like a guy, is going to always come through. He's always going to do, what you need done at that moment. And I mean, he's a marvel in Philly. He's got like all his hits are basically either extra home runs or singles. It's unbelievable with him. And he makes it look so easy. So it was almost like the NL had an unfair advantage, in that home run derby just with Schwarber there. So that was a lot of fun. I'm with you. Don't ever end a regular season game like that. I would stop watching baseball.
No.
Well, so like, in hockey, they have the shootout or whatever. And then like soccer, they do the shootout and stuff. So it's not like this is an impossible idea. Right. But to me, I hate it when they're like, okay, it's overtime now. So let's do something that's not the sport that we're playing. Like, let's do some weird bastard
like the Ghost Runner.
And that's exactly what this was.
Yeah,
but
I still really don't like the Ghost Runner, but it is what it is.
Honestly, today everybody was bitching about it. I still do like it because honestly, if we don't have a Ghost Runner, that game that I went to today, I could still be at that game because neither team would score.
Awesome about it. Free baseball. Come on.
No, dude, I was ready to get the hell out of there, man. Like, it's a regular season game against the Pirates, and we are on the worst stretch of my life. I don't want to sit there for any more of that. I was like,
you You don't want to see 18 innings and then lose like that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, the Pirates hit into a double play that should have ended the game, but it wasn't, or it should have ended the inning, and it wasn't a double play. And then they dropped, like, it was the worst baseball, and I was done. It's like two bad teams who don't want to win a baseball game against each other. It's like, who's going to blink first, you know?
Yeah. No, I get you. I still really dislike it. But, you know,
I understand.
The grind of the season, I understand it saves arms and injuries, et cetera, but, you know.
If we go to 17 innings today and our entire bullpen is blown, who do we trade tomorrow, Chad?
Yeah.
Who do we trade?
Yeah. Very true. No, it's a good point. Yeah, you blow your whole pen for 18 innings against the lowly Pirates on a Wednesday, and then you go to like LA and you have no one left for a really important game. Yeah, I get it. Yeah,
and they were coming off an off day or something like that. You know?
Yeah, the Pirates are wasting their entire pen against the lowly Giants.
By the way, did I just get trade? Did Taylor Rogers also get traded on the same day?
Yes. Yes, same day he went from Cincinnati to Pittsburgh for
no way.
We're going to face both Rogers brothers in the next week.
That's wild, dude. Okay.
Isn't that crazy?
What the hell?
The timing of this is so funny. Today, there was a trade, a reliever, Sir Anthony Dominguez, got traded from the Orioles to the Blue Jays in between games of a doubleheader between the Orioles and the Blue Jays. So he literally was in the Orioles clubhouse for the first game and walked over to the Toronto clubhouse for the second game and then pitched in the game for Toronto against his old team, Baltimore. Wow. It was mind-blowing. It was so funny to watch him meeting his new teammates and stuff like that and then leaning over the bullpen to his old bullpen and being like, hey, guys.
Was it Freddie Sanchez who literally walked down the tunnel?
Yes.
From one day to the other?
Yeah. They showed that during today's broadcast that the Giants were playing the Pirates when that trade happened.
Yep. God, that's so bizarre when that happens. It's lovely. Though. I love those kind of stories. They're great. Well, I don't know, man. It's bad. We already kind of covered some of the injuries there. We got some other guys coming back maybe in August. Doesn't really matter anymore. I feel like Bob Uecker in Major League. Who gives a shit? It's just like oh, that was God. Well, anyway, yeah. So they got 3 in New York, 3 in Pittsburgh. We'll see what happens. I mean, only a miracle can save it now. They're 6 games back in the wild card, looking up at the Cardinals, and it is what it is, fellas. But yeah, I think that's going to do it for episode 319. You can follow us collectively on Twitter at TortureCast, individually at ChadK21 for myself, at 208hits with the number 2 for Eric. You can also like us on Facebook and send us emails at mail@torturecast.com. I know our website was down there for about a week or two, but we got it back online. So crisis averted. But Eric, you have anything to pimp? Anything going on lately?
Nope, just damn those Russian
exciting Giant season.
Yeah,
exactly. Damn those Russian hackers who took down our website. All I got.
God damn it, yeah. You know, that high traffic site. Willie, what about you? How's the MGA going?
Well, we're actually on the August 1st. We're opening registration for the World Championships this year. So we're making a big push for that. Going to do a podcast tomorrow. We've been posting videos and stuff. So anybody who's listening is a member of the MGA. If you've been saving up your money, it's time to spend it on a trip to Vegas this year. And really excited for the whole thing is going to be pretty much similar to last year. We've done a lot of work to keep the prices the same, even though, as many of you know, Vegas has gotten more and more out of hand every year to try to visit.
Ridiculous.
But, yeah.
Absolutely ridiculous lately.
Yeah, we've done everything in our power, including we now do the whole event on a Monday and a Tuesday instead of a Friday, Saturday now. And it's an affordable trip. So anybody who's out there listening, who's a member, get ready. Come out with us. It's going to be another fun year.
Oh. It's good times, good times. I was briefly a member of the San Francisco chapter of MGA.
You'll be back.
I think when the kids are fully out of the house, I think that's when it's going to happen. You know, sure. I just find myself not having the time, but I did love my brief tenure with you guys. It was a lot of fun. So I definitely.
I mean, I know you, Chad. You're going to want to do something competitive. You know, when you can no longer do competitive things in golf, that's always on the table. You know.
That's always on the table, baby. Yep. I just watched Happy Gilmore too, so I'm, you know.
Oh, I really liked it, by the way. Yeah, I thought
we showed the kids Happy Gilmore. They'd never seen the first one. And then we watched 2 on the very next night. So it was so funny because in that movie, of course, they play a lot of the flashback clips to give you reference. And it was funny because, like, we didn't need it. We had literally just seen it the previous night. So I was like, you don't need that. You don't need to play that. I know what's going on here. But no, it kind of like inspired me. I was like, oh, man, I should get back into golf.
I was very skeptical that I was going to enjoy it. And I thought it was really fun. It didn't take itself seriously. It was like, no,
it didn't take itself seriously.
And that's
fine. It went full balls to the wall with all the cameos and everything else, and they were gratuitous about it, and they didn't hide it, and it was fun. It was like, whatever. It's it's obscene, but I enjoyed the movie.
You should look at the California chapter page of the MGA because we have 4, 8, 12, 16, 17, 18 chapters in California now. There's got to be one
crazy, dude.
Right?
That is crazy.
Got to be one close.
Yeah, I know. It's not the San Francisco one anymore, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, that's the original one. That's the one I'm still in.
Yeah.
There's literally like San Francisco and Oakland now. But we got Fresno, gotcha. Grass Valley, Inland Empire. I don't know if any of these places are close to you. Catalina Island.
That's very specific. That's a very tiny place, by the way.
I know. Apparently, they play mediocre golf there.
Okay. On their one course, if they have. I didn't even know Catalina had a course. I don't think they do. Like, doesn't even make sense.
Maybe you start the Gilroy one, and you can,
there you
control
go. It. Little South Bay. Yeah, there should be a South Bay one for sure, like a San Jose chapter. But
there you go.
All right, fellas, that'll do it for episode 319. We'll see you in about a week, and maybe they won't be still under 500. No, who are we kidding? They're going to be.
Yeah, we'll be
anyway. Yeah, they're going to be more underwater. The tsunami was a metaphor for their season. I'm just saying. All right, well, that'll do it, fellas. We'll see y'all next week. Until then, go Giants? ? Boom.
A big thank you to everybody for listening to the Torture Cast, the podcast by and for fans of the San Francisco Giants. Follow us on Twitter at TortureCast. You can also like us on Facebook or check out our blog at torturecast.com. I also want to say thank you to Ashcon and Bailey for letting us use their song Feeling Like a Giant for our intro. For Ben Lee and Chad King, my name is Willie Dills saying, we'll see you next time.